Amy Winehouse, one of the best singers, one of the best songwriters of all time. She was a once-in-a-generation talent who lived her life hard, fast, and died way before her time. And if you want to see a really thoughtful but really cinematic portrayal of her life, then go and watch the Amy documentary, because this biopic, it was alright, but it wasn't amazing. The first problem was actually the portrayal of Amy Winehouse. Now, I've never met the geezer, so maybe this was true to life, and if it is, fair enough. But she really did not come across as likeable. She came across as a bit of a prick, really. And again, if this is what she was actually like, fair enough. But it is very hard to root for a protagonist who is not likeable. I mean, I didn't expect to come into the Amy Winehouse biopic and actually be rooting for the drugs. But yeah, did not come across as likeable. Despite that, I was still looking forward to seeing her rise to fame. How she went from this undiscovered talent to all of a sudden being this person that the whole nation was looking at and thinking, whoa, where did she come from? And they just skip over her whole rise to fame, really. It takes all of about 5 minutes. It goes from she's singing in her room to now she's on the side of buses, now everyone knows who she is. It's a bit sad, really, to be honest, because, you know, I'm a big fan of her music, and the music just sort of took a back seat, really. Even the second album, BackToBlack, which I prefer the first album, but the second album, still a classic, still a banger. From the title of the film and from the trailer, you'd think the music, the second album, would be the most integral thing in this film. But no, they sort of just skip past that as well. The focus of the film is about the relationship between Amy and Blake and Amy's drug use. And, you know, that is interesting and they do need to cover that. But the music, yeah, it just seems to be her occupation, just something that happens in the background. That being said, they do actually play all the big hits, so, you know, send the audience home happy. But nevertheless, they could have focused a bit more on the music. The dialogue was a bit clunky. They kept stressing home the fact, especially at the start, she's a fan of jazz. They kept hitting you over the head with that. She's a fan of jazz. Remember, audience, she's a fan of jazz. Alright, we fucking get it. And she kept going on about, oh, I'm in this for the music. It's not about the fame. It's not about the money. It's about the music. It's not about the fame. It's not about the money. It's like, fucking hell, alright, I get it. You sound like me when I'm trying to justify to people my low subscriber count. It's just, we don't need to keep hearing it over and over again. Show, don't tell, as I heard in screenwriting class. Despite that, the film did have some good parts. One good thing was the actual acting. The acting, really good, really good. Amy Winehouse's descent into substance abuse was really portrayed well. Really, really good. Really uncomfortable. I mean, this whole film was really a really good PSA about why you shouldn't do drugs. I mean, if you're ever at home and someone says, oh, what do you want to do tonight? Do you want to get some pizza? And then someone else says, oh, do you want to get some crack? Put on this film. You won't want to do crack after this film. There's a scene in this film where Blake hands a box, and it looks like a wedding ring box, over to Amy Winehouse, and Amy opens it, and it actually contains some crack rocks. And I've never heard a cinema as uncomfortable as that. It was really, that some bits of it were really hard to watch. And that brings me on to another point, which is the filmmaking, really good. That really portrayed her descent as well. Really, the acting and the filmmaking, once it got going, once Blake actually came into it, that both of those, acting and the filmmaking, really stepped up. Really good, really good. Especially there's a bit where she's performing at Glastonbury and she's just out of it. Really hard to watch, but in the best possible way, because it was just done so well. And I tell you what, if that was the actual actress singing there, if it wasn't lip synced and that was her actual voice, she was incredible. She was not flat at all. Now, you can't say that about all of her, and that brings me on to the naked scenes. Don't need to see it, don't need to see it. Her Amy Winehouse's body shape was similar, but not exactly the same. Sort of took me out of it a little bit. But nonetheless, acting absolutely fantastic. And the people who portrayed the father and Blake as well, they did a really good job. There was moments of levity in the film, which I wasn't really expecting much of, and it was good, you know, kept it a little bit light, because overall, very dark film. If you're looking for a film, well, I don't know why you'd go into the Amy Winehouse film looking for something feel good. You wouldn't really, because you know that she was brown bread at 27, but nevertheless, very depressing, very depressing. Right at the end of the film, because her death was a bit mysterious. I still don't know much about it. You know, she was on drugs and all of that for years, then she got herself clean, you know, she went to rehab, all of that business, and she seemed to be doing well, and then she's brown bread. I wanted to know a bit more about that, and if you watch the film, then you'll be none the wiser, because they just skip over that. She comes back from rehab, she seems to be doing well, and then one of the paparazzi says that Blake has a baby, and then all of a sudden, bang, cuts to text on the screen, Amy Winehouse was brown bread at the age of 27, they do one more song, and it's over, everyone go home. It's a bit of an abrupt ending really, bit disappointing. Apparently after Blake, Amy Winehouse actually met someone else who was really good for her. They don't cover that in the film whatsoever. That would be interesting, but no, they don't show that at all. I'll tell you something though they did bring to light, which was really good, they really did hammer home, was how scummy the British press were. Those paparazzis, just bastards really, and it was good really to see. I mean, it's probably not changed, to be honest, it's probably the exact same, but really the portrayal of the press and the paparazzi, that was really good, really good. So yeah, the filmmaking, the acting was good, but yeah, not an amazing film, to be honest. Not a terrible film. I would say it's worth watching. I don't know if it's worth paying to watch. I don't know. Check it out if you want to, but not one of the best biopics I've ever seen. I prefer the Marley biopic, to be honest. That at least showed a lot more of the music. But yeah, the actress, I'll watch whatever she's in next. I'll watch that. Just keep your clothes on. Don't need to see that. Wasn't really much there to see. But yeah, the film was okay. It was okay.